We are live. Hello.
Oh, that's
Good afternoon,
fierce.
everybody.
Good
Hi,
afternoon.
AJ.
Hi. Hi. Afternoon, Renee. How have you had your
Afternoon,
lunch?
afternoon. Yes, yes,
Have you had
yes.
your
Okay,
lunch?
so yes, I have already. Can you hear
Mm.
me? Okay,
Yes, I can.
good.
That's why I'm
Because
talking.
is it
You,
lagging on your side?
I'm not sure, but I can hear you.
Okay, can. Because you kind of like respond to me like 1 to 2 seconds delay.
Okay. But I
Okay.
can hear you fine. But yeah, okay. But I think maybe it's
Okay,
just
okay.
the connection problem. All right. So
Okay,
today
can.
we
Yes.
will be sharing because I think the first live we mentioned about saying sharing about our freelance journey, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So today we will do just that first. We will basically share how we started freelancing and what made us, want to stick through it until today. So since I opened a
You want to start first?
question, oh, I was
You
gonna
start
throw
first
to you,
lah.
but okay. I was gonna clear my throat, but okay. Okay, so let me see. I need a flashback because it's been quite a
Mm.
while. Okay, so for me, I've been freelancing ever since I was in school. I think like when I was in poly, I felt
Yep.
that I need to be independent and I need to support myself and I'm big enough to, tell my parents, no, I don't want to take your money, that kind of thing. So I worked like a couple of part-time jobs. So back then it was like part-time jobs, right? Because we're still students.
Mm.
So work a
Mm.
part-time jobs. I basically work things that I like. For example, I work at a barista as a barista because I like
Mm.
coffee, or like I work at events like facilitator because I like to interact with people and so
Mm.
on and so forth. So that was
Yep.
when I was still in school. So I was still in school all the way until uni. So as I was entering uni, I started to take in more jobs that are related to what I was learning. So back then I was studying music, audio, and all those stuff around the area.
Mm.
And then that was when I started to, hey, since I'm going to learn all this stuff, I mean, since I'm already learning, so why not I
Mm.
find a more relevant jobs that's related.
Mm.
So that
Yep.
was when I guess the start of my freelance career or journey. Even it's the funny thing is that I wasn't even planning to be become one. Yeah, it's like
Oh,
it's kind of
okay.
like,
Mm.
like it just happened. Like you're so used to,
Mm.
okay, work part time here, part time there, and then you in your mind as a student, it's a part time job, right?
Mm.
And then
Mm.
slowly when you go into uni, and then you start to like pick the jobs that you want to do, like more niche, something
Mm.
related, and then you end up like taking projects, and then like, hey, where all these projects come from? Then you realize like
Yep.
halfway through the journey, you realize that, oh right, so I'm freelancing, right? Like I'm
Mm.
freelancing, like I'm
Okay.
freelancing music educator, I'm a freelance audio editor. So that was when I realized that, right, this is not part-time anymore. It's freelance, it's called
Mm.
freelance.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess for myself, the definition of a freelance is when you are the one that pick the jobs that you want, or you already
Right.
have your specialization, or you already have your niche, and then you just work towards it. So personally, I feel
Mm.
that is like what freelancing was to me
Mm.
when I was just starting
And that
out.
was how long ago?
More than 5 years, I think.
Oh,
I
okay.
think 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, I think more than 5 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
So
I
that
see.
was that
Oh.
was the start. That was the start. So a lot of
Mm.
people, yeah. So a lot of people think that, oh, like freelancer, like you just came out and decided to be one. So I guess for myself, it's kind of like a transition that I
Mm.
was already doing it from the start, but I didn't know what it was called back then. Like
Yep.
when I was like
Mm.
a student, we just assume that everything is a part time job because it's temporary,
Right.
right? And unless you
Mm.
unless you apply for a full time job,
Mm.
but yeah, so maybe before I go into like the next, so like what happens, the exciting part after that, maybe you can share about how your starting part is.
Oh, okay. Mine is totally different than yours. So mine, I came from family, from generation, that focus on full-time jobs, focus on corporate
Mm,
jobs, focus on study hard and then you work hard, that kind of thing. So I was in the corporate field for 8 years. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
8 years. And then I switched into freelancing. I think when you mentioned about you don't know back then it was called freelancers, I think when I first started, I didn't know it was actually called as freelancers or freelancing.
mm,
I'm just jumping from working for someone, and from working for someone to working for myself, like
mm,
running a business. So freelancing word is not, it's not known at that point of time, I feel, because
mm,
there's not much of talks about freelancers, freelancing. So when I actually jumped into doing freelancing, it was in 2009, I think. But that one is
mm.
just like for fun. Like I try first lah, like first I try first maybe like 3 months, like if I
Uh,
don't really like what I'm doing,
then,
then maybe I'll go back
mm.
to my job.
Also, this is
Because you're
after you
so,
quit, is it? Like after
after I
you
quit,
quit your
I
job,
didn't,
then you try,
yeah,
try. Try, try.
yes.
Okay, okay,
So to
okay.
all freelancers out there or aspiring freelancers out there, I'm gonna make a disclaimer. Don't follow my way of jumping from, if you are actually working full time right now, measure your you need to measure how much are you able to lose if you were to quit your job and go into full time freelancing. So it's
Mm,
more of like, for me, I really, when it comes to, learning from mistakes, right? I really don't have the knowledge of running a business. I really don't have the financial support. If I
mm,
quit my job, what will happen? It's just, I just quit. Like, yeah,
right.
but I was lucky because I have support from my husband.
Mm,
So he's actually the main support system that I have, when ever since the first time I want to quit my job and run the business until now. So I think in terms of like journey or going into freelancing, uh, I am someone who just jumps off the boat and then I learn to swim later on.
So what would
Yeah.
you what tips or maybe what would you tell people to do differently
Mm.
from what you did?
Don't jump. Don't jump
What should
without a
they
lifeboat.
what should they do?
Sorry?
Like do they like what should they do? Like do they stay in their job and then like try freelance like part time for 3 months
Oh.
and then quit
Because last time,
officially?
right? Last time there's no such, I wouldn't say there's no such thing, but there's no awareness of when you are working full time, you can do a
Mm.
side hustle.
Oh back
I
then.
wouldn't say there's no, yeah, I wouldn't say there's no such thing, but it's not, um I'm either I'm not aware, or there's not much of what do you call, there's not much of conversation going on, because like I mentioned earlier
Right.
on, I came from a generation, and around me are all about full-time jobs, are all about
Mm.
climbing the corporate ladder. So you work for a certain period of time, you take maybe a certification, and then you go another level of in your corporate job. So this is basically the steps that I've been brought up in that sense. But
Mm.
when it comes to having a freelance at the side while running, while actually working, it was not in the limelight. Yeah, so I
Mm.
think now it's more there's more a lot of more awareness that
Mm.
you can actually do side hustle or freelancing on the side while you are actually working still. So
Mm.
my advice, or maybe just, don't follow my step, because I really uh jump and without experience at all. So what I will actually share with you guys is, if you are thinking of freelancing full time in the future, try it out first, maybe in the first couple of months while you are still working. If you are actually in the working world, yeah, try a few months and see if the freelancing job were to maybe supersede your full-time job,
Mm,
then you may weigh in such a way that, okay, I think I should leave my corporate job because it's getting me more satisfaction while doing the freelancing. And of course, at the side, the finance part, I think this is really really important because financially, if you are looking at financially, you need to have at least 6 months of finance, so that if anything happens within that 6 months, at least you have a backup funds. In that sense, you can
mm.
actually help with you in your rainy days lah, I feel. Yeah, I don't have, I'm telling you, I don't have any
Funds.
financial funds. Yeah, I don't have extra funds in that sense. I don't have such funds when I jump. I
Mm,
think maybe I only have like 3 months, which at that
mm.
point of time it was enough lah. Now I
Yeah,
don't
now
think it's
I
enough.
don't think it's
Yeah,
enough.
cannot.
Yeah,
Six
correct, correct.
6 months at least. At least 6 months. I know there are
Six.
people say that between 3 to 6 months,
Yeah.
but I still feel that now, when you are running, if you are actually going into from full time job, you wanting to go into freelancing, you must have at least 6 months financial funds. Yeah, before you even go into full time freelancing.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
don't
So
jump.
since don't jump. Jump with a lifeboat. So your
Yeah, just
lifeboat, your life boy is your
yeah, life.
6 months runway. Then you jump. You
Yes,
jump
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't
okay.
don't jump and then you find, where's my
Oh,
life vest? Cannot,
or like that. So that was you back then.
not like
You were
me.
the one. That's you. Okay.
I cannot.
So
Yeah, yeah,
we've heard from Rini. Rini shared about like the working, like the employees perspective. So maybe
yeah,
I can also, like put some 2 cents to it. For those of
yeah.
you guys who are still studying, who are still
Mm,
students, my tip would be it's good to try. I mean, there's the perfect
mm,
time for you to explore, for you to try a lot of things.
correct.
However, if because now like there's more awareness, there's more education about freelancing,
Yep.
and if you yourself already know that this is the path that you want to take, so even from the
Mm,
beginning, it's always good that you get yourself educated in this area because
mm,
in school,
yep.
I will tell you first, school won't teach you any of this unless but I also believe that school are also slowly changing and
Yeah,
adopting,
yeah.
like the
Correct.
gig economy system and that kind of mindset. So which is good.
Mm,
However, I'm not saying that all schools have it, but if your school has it, then that's great. But if not, then take the initiative to really learn about the freelance market because it's very different from the employees market. Because employee, it's
yep.
like you just need an employer, but now you are the employer and employee. So how are you gonna
Employee.
how are you gonna manage, right, these two roles? So my
Yeah, correct.
advice would be, for students, explore. Okay, once you're done exploring and you are confident that this is the path that you want to take, for example,
Yep.
photography or maybe
Mm,
painting, right? Then
mm,
really work from the start. Yeah, because for myself, I discover along the way, because back then it wasn't what you call it, it wasn't uh, an obvious thing, right? Like
yeah.
school don't talk about it.
Mm,
Like even if
yep.
you were to like go outside, a lot of them like, oh, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a business owner, but
Yeah.
that is too big for me back then. Yeah,
Correct.
so
Correct. Correct.
I slowly discover the freelancing world. So for those of you who are
Yeah.
tuning in, if you're still a student and you want to try freelancing, and if you're confident about it, just do your due diligence research from the start, while you're
Yep.
studying. I think that's the perfect time for you to juggle because no, like no responsibilities, no commitments. You're still like young and free. I mean, and you're still under the protection of your parents, right? I mean,
True.
you're
True.
still sheltered in a sense. Yeah, but if you're like
Correct,
once you're
correct.
married or like once you're in the working world, you're sheltering your own self. So do it while you still have shelter. I would say that. I
I
would
think
say that.
when
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you mention about when people say whether you want to become a business owner or
Yep.
entrepreneur, yeah, it's too big. To me, last time
Yes.
when I wanted to go into running a business, to me, running a business is like those brands, like huge brands. That
Mm,
is like business, you know. It's at that point of time, there's no like one person running the whole thing, like
right.
one person do accounts, one person it's always the idea is like running a business is there's departments, marketing departments, HR department,
Yeah.
all these things, right? But when
All the
you are
departments.
doing freelancing, when you are doing freelancing, you are the department of yourself, of those
Yes.
things.
Yes. You're
Yeah,
all the
okay, we have
departments.
comment.
Departmental store.
Hi
Hi.
Fitri.
Fitri.
Hi
Nice to see
Fitri, thank you
you.
for being here. Yes, Fitri is actually one of our partner or collaborator at TFA. So she is an IG specialist. So if you guys wants to run a business, I think now social media has evolved in such a way that you can run your business through social media platforms. So if you want to run your business on Instagram, Fitri is the go-to person to know more about engagement, content, all that jazz lah, all the Instagram jazz. Yeah, so connect
Yes.
with Fitri at 15 Big Dreams on Instagram. And you can also follow her on YouTube. She's Fitri Rahim on YouTube. Thank you, Fitri, for
Yay.
being here. Okay,
Shout out. Shout
next
out. Okay.
topic. Shout out, eh?
Okay. Anyone shout out? You take shout out. Okay.
No, don't have,
Um,
don't have.
no more shout. No more shout. Okay. Then maybe okay. I'll just go to the exciting part of my
Mm,
journey because I mentioned the starting, right. So as I was discovering myself, blah
yeah.
blah blah, okay. So graduation. So I was going to graduate from university, and like back then. Okay, I'm not sure now how the students are now, but back then for undergrads, we still have that mindset that okay, after you graduate, the next thing you have to do is find a job, right?
Mm,
And I think me, okay, maybe it's just a human nature thing, but we like to FOMO, like fear of missing out. Like we don't want to like be out of the crowd, like we want to be relevant so that we can, open
yeah.
topic with our friends. Oh yeah, I've got a job here, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of like peer pressure for me because the rest of my other
Mm.
peers in my cohort, right, it's either they either been artists because I was in the audio music
Oh,
area. I
okay.
mean audio music
Mm,
field. So some of them they
mm,
want to be artists, some of them they want to like do production, and then some of them they want to do like teaching, but teaching under
mm.
like public schools. So they
Yep.
were like asking me, "Hey, AJ, you want to try or not become teacher?" And it's like, "Huh, teacher? Huh? Yeah lah, stable what? Stable government job." It's like, okay. Those kind of thing. Like they will use like
Yeah.
stable, like easy, like easy to go in. That kind of thing. They use this,
Uh,
they use these words right to lure you inside, and then you're like,
yeah.
okay, I try. So after I tried, so there was two other friends with me. So the three of us applied the same role,
Okay.
and then whole and behold, the two of them got in, and I got rejected. So that
Oh.
so it felt like the first rejection in my life. So I
Mm.
had to go through like a breakup session with myself. No, true story,
So
guys.
do you
True
have
story.
like, do you
True
have
story.
like you go in the bus, then got solemn music running through your mind, and
Yeah, the
then
taller music is
raining.
my mind lah. Yeah, then it rains, and then like one tear drop from one side of my eye. Yeah, it's like a Korean drama already. But yeah, so when it happened, it really felt like a heartbreak. Like I've never
Mm.
experienced such a deep heartbreak before. Even with like relationships, like this is worse than a relationship. Yes, it's like you got rejected like okay, but anyway, so that was kind of like the calling for me because
Mm.
when that happened, I actually took half a year to travel the world. So back then,
Oh
pre-COVID,
wow.
pre-COVID traveling is like going to Johor. I mean, I'm not saying that it's true for all, but when you're a student, when you're a student, okay. I'll tell you something. When I was
Mm,
a student, right? Maybe some students can to agree with
mm,
me on this. Like, you guys work to travel, right? Come on, let's all be realistic. We work hard so that we can play harder, right? That's life.
of
Or maybe
course, right?
that's my life back then. So I work hard, really. I work like multiple jobs. Is really to, save up to travel, is to spend. So that's also another like downside, because then I don't really have much savings back then, because YOLO
Mm,
FOMO, right? Yeah, so YOLO FOMO,
mm,
then all that come in. Yeah. So okay, so coming back, so half a year, I traveled the world. It's kind of, what's that like? There's that book like Eat, Pray, Love, but
yep.
this is not really like soul searching. It's really doing my bucket list. So bucket list.
Okay.
It's like a bucket
Mm.
list checklist. Yeah. So that was what I did. And then when I came back, finally when I came back to Singapore, and then that realization hit me, because then, like, why would the full time industry reject me, because I was meant to freelance. I had that realization, and it's true, because I never turned
Mm.
back. I think for
Right.
Rini yourself also, when you took that jump, right, when you're drowning in that water, right, you never look back, right, you just move forward and find that island or whatever you're looking for. Yeah, so it's the same. I think, like, those of you who are listening, you guys are like freelancers, like, there'll come a time that, there'll be a it's just that moment that you take the leap of faith, right?
Yep.
And you just believe in it so hard that there's no turning back. Even if you want to turn back, right, you like think
Mm.
twice, like, you know what, I already made this decision, and I'm gonna stick to it. Yeah, so I guess
Mm.
that's
Correct.
the beauty of freelancing when you start. I mean, we both have
But of
different
course,
different stories lah, but yeah.
yeah. But of course, it's not like all rainbows lah in
Of
freelancing. There's always
course.
pros and cons in everything that
Yes.
you do. So it's not something where freelancing is for everybody. So you just have to
Mm,
find, like, if you have that calling into freelancing, um, the only thing that we would actually, like, tell you guys is to try it out first. Yeah,
mm,
try it out first to see whether it kind of like suits you, whether this is something that you want to do. Because when you are doing freelancing, you are not working 9 to 5 5 days a week. You are jumping into 24 hours.
yes, like
So
7-Eleven.
yeah, 7-Eleven. So your time management is very, very, very important. So when you
Yep.
are into freelancing, you need to know which time goes to which, I would say, which time goes to which area that you want to work in. For example, maybe in a
Mm,
day you have a certain time that you want to focus on your family. Let's say you want to spend time with your family. So for me, I work around my husband's schedule. My husband
mm,
has always been in the shift work. So
mm.
I try to work around my husband's schedule. So if he's on, I mean, currently 2023, my my word of the year is intentional. So
Wow.
I try to intentionally make sure that I don't work and spend time with him when he's on off day. Yeah. So
Mm,
back to like, trying to, if you are going to choose your path of becoming a freelancer, um the first things first is to understand why do you want to do freelancing, what's your basically your purpose of doing freelancing, and then
mm,
are you able to separate time, like time management.
mm.
If the thing is about time management, right, it's not something that you can know on the spot. It's a
Yep.
lot of try and error. There's a lot of changing. Sometimes you already planned something but something else came out. So can
Mm,
you let go of things that you have already planned and move to what it is actually, like, like some calling that you need to attend to? Are you able to
yep.
do that? So yeah, there's a lot of areas that you need to think about lah, I feel. Yeah.
Mm,
So but if you are still stuck on whether you need to go into freelancing, or whether you can go into freelancing or not, you can always get on a call with us. We have
Yep.
a 10 minutes call that you can, just sit down with us, like let us know what troubles you have in freelancing,
Yeah.
whether you already a freelancer or not. You can
Mm.
always get on a call with us to see whether we can kind of like help you, just to sometimes it's just that one push that can
Yep.
allow you to make your decision whether you should or you shouldn't. Yeah.
Mm. And I guess I think to add on, um, I would say, I mean, sure, we oh, sure sorry, I'm distracted by the sorry.
Always,
Okay.
AJ is always distracted by
Yes.
change.
Yes. Oh, well, speaking of that, right? Okay. I mean, this off topic, but recently
Mm.
I've been reading about this book about the how can introverts and extrovert work together to be an
Again
awesome
about this
team.
introvert and
No,
extrovert.
because I'm reading the book. Yeah. So one thing
Okay.
about, because and it's good because I mean personally I feel it's good that I get to understand myself better, like my
Yep.
extrovertness and what are the flaws that I have, so that I'm more aware, and also to be more aware of my introvert counterparts like Rini. Like why is she like this, and why there are certain ways that she just like irks me, but I know that I still love her in the end of the day. You know, that kind of thing. So it's like a love hate
Thanks, AJ.
relationship. So one thing about this book is that for extroverts, right, we are spontaneous creatures, whereby visual cues, right, spontaneous visual cues, right, will grab our attention for whatever reason. So if let's say you change your picture into a cat, right, I will be distracted. For example, like
Like
that.
this.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, like this. So I will also like,
Distracted by
I need to pause, recollect my thoughts, and then I have to deliver what I need to. Are you purposely doing this? But
that.
anyways,
Yes.
okay. So before I carry on, out of topic even more, to come back, yeah. See, I have to catch myself all the time because I always like to. Uh, Malay word is called merayap. So English word is stray. Is it stray?
Yeah, yeah. You go,
Right.
you go
Stray,
astray.
right?
There's
You
nothing.
stray, yeah, so you stray, then sometimes you never come back. So I need to constantly remind myself to catch myself and bring back to the right path. Okay, so
Mm,
back to add on to what Rini mentioned. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so back to what Rini has mentioned, I think just to add on, like what she said, that freelancing is not about rainbows and butterflies. There's also the
mm.
struggles, and the struggles
Yep.
is real. Okay, I'll just be very real here for a moment, because not everyone is able to overcome it. So some of the
Yep.
challenges that you might face is burnout. So then
Yep.
burnout is also parent for like employees, apparently, because you have to do a lot of work and OT and stuff like that. So the burnout is real, and
Mm.
mental wellness is also very, very real as a freelancer. So
Yep.
these are the two I would highlight these two things, because you need to be able to overcome this in your own way. The reason why I say
Mm-hmm.
this is because freelancing is like I would say a unicorn, but it's like
Mm.
a chameleon. Different people adapt differently, and
Yep.
doesn't mean what works for me works for Rini, and vice
Correct.
versa. So this is really
Yep.
like, you need to the most important network or connection you need to
Mm.
build, right, is with yourself. Because
Mm-mm.
like what you mentioned, like today I'm a student, tomorrow I'm no longer a student. Today I'm single,
Yep.
tomorrow I'm married. Today I am
Mm.
like married, and tomorrow I become parent. So it's a
Mm. Yeah.
like,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
need to be able to adapt, right? You need to be
Yep.
that's my word, by the way. That's my word of the year. To be able to adapt. Yeah, you need to be able to adapt, because it's like you already stressed with your work, and then you also need to think about like your life status, like your
Yep.
change, and then like how are you going to manage all of that. And so
Mm.
so these two things are really real. And I would say, like, never take them lightly. So if you do need any like help, or if you need to yes, I was gonna ask you to bring it down. If you need any help or any assistance, please seek out the appropriate uh, hotline, I mean the appropriate avenues. If you need like like consultation or like therapy or anything, like,
Yep.
please go ahead. We're not gonna like judge you for that. And also, if you and as for us, we may not be certified therapists or consultant, but if you need an opinion or a seconder for freelancing, the two of us are always there to lend a helping hand to our fellow freelancers, because we know that it's not easy, and it can be lonely, and it can be
Yeah.
scary, but rest assured we will be there for you, and we do our very best to be there for you as well. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's true when you said about freelancing is not a template where you can just
Yep.
copy from one person and then you implement it on
Mm.
yourself. So for us, it's more of like there's a lot of try and error for both of us. But at TFA itself, we try to we try to help you to speed up the process of being a freelancer with our
Mm.
experiences, with our community experiences, because we have like a pool of freelancers that we can actually ask some like feedback or experiences that they can share with all of you. So
Mm.
at TFA is basically again no template that you can copy paste fully, but we can share our experience where it's really real life experience of us working as a freelancer for almost a decade, and
Mm-hmm.
giving you some tips and hacks that okay, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do this, compared to you googling and then you go into a rabbit hole and turn and turn and turn and turn.
So I
After
really
that,
favorite.
no answer. Yeah, after that
Yes.
no answer, and then you stress and then you burn out and then you
Mm.
feel okay, I think freelancing is not for me. But actually
Mm.
there is no there is no proper channel that you go to, like what AJ has mentioned. If you need help at certain area, go to the proper channel. If you need help
Yep.
in freelancing, you can come to us, like ask any
Mm.
question, because this is where this is why we are here. We want to help you expedite. I wouldn't say expedite lah, but it's more of like
Support system.
uh yeah, it's more of like support system, because we didn't have that back then, right?
Yes.
We all try and error.
Yeah. So we burn
We all
ourselves, we
like,
cry ourselves, eat ice cream
yeah.
ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like what I mentioned earlier on lah, my generation is all the full-time job. They don't understand what I'm going through. I may just
Mm.
share like what I'm feeling, but they may not understand what exactly is the process of me being a freelancer or running a freelance business. So
Correct.
now I think it's really freelancing is really huge in that sense, where you can have buddies to tap on each other, like, hey, are you okay, like, are you doing this, accountability, that kind of things. Yeah, even our community, we do have accountability system where they can actually
Mm.
help each other. Yeah, so that's why
Correct.
TFA is here lah. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
AJ, anything else you want to add on?
I think just want to wrap things up. not
Yep.
not wrap. Yeah. So I guess wrapping things up, like in summary,
Mm-hmm.
freelancing, it's a unique job on its own, because there's
Yep.
never a one cookie cutter template. So,
Mm.
and freelancing is also, I mean, we do have our fair share of like success and
Yeah.
what you call it, accomplishments, but with
Yep.
all that, there's also the pain and the struggles that comes with it. So you have to
Yep.
be ready, mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, ready to tackle all this. And I think not to scare everyone off. There's always that like rainbow at the end. It's a very nice feeling.
Of
Like, it's
course.
always the rainbow
Yeah.
at the end. Yeah, and even if you're struggling without a life boy or life jacket, right? There's always the island there somewhere.
Yep.
If there's no island, then but then yeah. So just to be like, how to say, like to be honest, to be frank, right? That if let's say you try, and if it's not for you,
Mm.
it's really okay. Like, we're not gonna like,
Yeah, true.
oh, you loser, you try, you never make it. We're not gonna do like that, like, because sometimes it just doesn't work for you, and it's
Really,
really
yeah,
okay.
doesn't work for you. Yep.
It's really okay. Of course, we did mention lah, there's no turning back and stuff like that. But if really you need to turn back, then turn, just turn and go. Okay, like, don't be so hard of yourself. Like, oh, I've
Yeah.
tried so hard in dancing, and then I'm still horrible. I'm a horrible person. No, you're not. You're still an amazing person. Okay, don't let your job or whatever define you. Suddenly, I become like
Yeah,
my
I was
my
about to
wrap up
say.
become. my wrap-up become preach. Okay, so
Yeah.
before I start preaching, okay, so to wrap things up, okay, today we just shared our freelance experiences and what we've
Yep.
gone through as a freelancer. So our next live, we will go back to seeing um, the difference business entity in Singapore and whether
Mm.
is it possible to transition from one entity to the other. Yeah, so we're going to
Mm.
touch a bit
Yep.
about that. And for those of you who are listening or tuning in or watching, rewatching this, if you have any questions, keep that in mind, and then look out
Yep.
for our next live, and then you can ask us, or if not, you can drop it in the comments below,
In the
whatever
comments.
questions that you have, or link us up at Rini. Link us
Okay.
up
Hold on.
at the freelance. That's your cue. Link us
I
up
put
at
already.
yes, link us up at the Freelancers Academy. We're on all social media platforms, including YouTube. But if you want to get like the fastest response is to
Response.
come. Fastest response is to reach us at our Instagram channel.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and those who are rewatching this. We will see you in the next live next week. And yep, see you then. Bye.
Bye.